I mean, that was the weirdest thing because we ate at 3 o'clock, right? And, we've all been there with commercial flights, but usually with, charters, there's a little bit more, leeway. But it was, golly, it was just one thing after the other. We just...
Was it because of the weather or what?
Yeah, we called actually twice to move it up. You'd asked.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, they're good. Because I had everything ready to get them out of class, all the things. And they said, no, we're good. But for some reason, they were late arriving, which needlessly, in my opinion, because they were coming, they hadn't dropped off another team. So they were late about 20 to 30 minutes, which is only the window we needed. So then we get going. And then we're taking off, and all of a sudden, he hit those brakes, and I fly a lot, right? 32 years of doing this, and it was like, and I was like, whoa. And then he kind of taxied, but he didn't say anything. And then he turned like we were going to take off again, and then I was like, I don't know, we should do this. And then he comes on and says, the runways have too much ice. So then we just stopped. So we go in, they let us into the FBO, sit there for an hour and a half. They're like, we can go. We get on there. Propellers are frozen.
Propellers what?
Propellers are frozen.
Oh,
so he can't move to the de-icing pad. No problem. We'll get a tow truck. The tow thing. Problem. Tow truck's broken. And it's like, about 8:30. And I'm like, I don't feel safe taking a bus to drive 15 players plus all the... So if it was mechanical, I would have said, let's just go. So then I asked, can we be guaranteed to go tomorrow? And the company, they're like, well, I don't know. We can't guarantee you to fly tomorrow. I'm like, gosh, we think we're going to go tonight. Well, yeah, we could go, but we need to be de-iced. Well, it's just de-ice here. Well, you can't because DNR rules, all these things. I was like, can we rent Uniteds? So finally, we get a little thing to get de-ice the props. So then we can taxi over de-ice station. Now it's about 10. We de-ice. Wait. Oh, there's a ground stop. 11:30, they say there's nowhere to go. So now we don't have a bus. We wait for 40 minutes for a bus. And so McDonald's is closed. And that's when,
So you're still in Cedar Rapids now?
I'm still sitting in the plane.
Okay.
We were in the plane 7 hours.
Okay.
Because it was a 6.5, because we went onto the plane, then we sat for an hour and a half. But then the FBO and everybody left except the ground guys. So we were there on that plane 6.5 hours. And then I was like, well, we'll stay at the Kirkwood. And then we had to go to Casey's. And then, Randy was great, and her husband, Duaz, used to work with them. Mm-hmm. So all the assistants are working phones. Molly Rigg gets big time credit for all the things that young woman did. Because I hired her in the middle, because she's kind of moonlighting with soccer, because Hannah Bluter now works for the Atlanta Hawks. Okay. So it was just so, I'm so thankful we won because they had to handle a lot, but it's not the end of the world. And I just thought it was a good lesson in handling adversity, but it wasn't an easy deal. Mm-hmm. The day they were late.
So what time did you get here?
We missed our shoot running. They told us to leave at 10:30. When we got there, the crew comes a little late, and then we de-ice for an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. So then I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Williams, which is the most unique place. Yeah. I was like, well, you can't go down the road, just stay positive. And they let us shoot in auxiliary, but we didn't land till 12:40, 12:30.
I heard the landing was rough too.
I would say it was one of the worst I've ever. And I've had 3, it's in the top 3. The one when Lisa and I got hit by lightning, that was top 1. But then we had one, I went to see Kate Martin, my head hit the top of the small private planes. But a bigger one, it's just the wind or something. So people were kind of sick, some people were scared. So we weren't directly. So I told them, I said, this is going to be one great memory at alumni games, especially since we won it. But they really did hold that. I did think we looked a little fatigued, but I'm not so sure that was just all these shenanigans. I think it was just a big game Sunday, and then we practice Monday, and you're a little tired, a little sore. Tuesday's off, practice Wednesday, but it just a lot. And then it probably didn't help, but I would have never said that was why we lost the game. But I thought our start and finish was the difference. The middle we hung on.
You brought Hannah and Sid back in, 4 fouls, about 6 to go, 7 to go.
Got it. Because the staff was like, I just felt it. It was a little tough sledding. They got the momentum, and I just know that the vets have been showing their prowess lately, and they've been in this big, and we let so many slip away. I just saw a lot of growth this last 10 days in Sid and Hannah as far as the leadership, and sometimes you can wait too long, and then the boats leak too much, and so it was just, it would have been a different story had it not worked out and they followed out both of them. But I just felt at that time, it's kind of like saving a timeout. Sometimes you save it and you're down 10. If you would have used it, you might stay tied, right? So that was just all gut, and I just really felt like we needed them, and thankfully they came through.
Just real quick about Monday. Do you feel like you're a different team that played Nebraska? They got beat at home by 18 tonight.
To who?
Michigan.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Michigan's starting to figure it out again.
Yeah.
I think that's what's so weird about this league. They go, oh, this team isn't, they don't look as good. Then they fall out. But it's like everybody is pretty doggone even, with the exception of UCLA and USC typically. Ohio State's got, But I just think it's like that. And when it it turns on you in a game, it can be like that. I think we're, now we got a little confidence because we lost a couple when we played them. So I also think those games, that one, it reminds me of the, it's like Iowa State, Drake, Nebraska, just those wars. So I'd like to think we're a little bit better. We're trying to do some things different defensively. So this is the one time you can try to make adjustments, right? Everything else is one and done. And so we'll see. We didn't handle, a lot of the screening action as well as I would have liked. But man, Britt Prince is a pretty good player. Markowski, I love both those guys. So I do think it's surprising, but Michigan. That they got that great Canadian, Swords, and Olivia Olson right here from Minneapolis. Those two are for freshmen, are pretty good.